Is this thing on? Hello, my name is Dean, and I used to have a successful Christian YouTube channel, and now I just stream periodically and get in trouble with other YouTubers. So here I am. I left the voice behind. I don't know what that voice was, but it came out. You know, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna tick off some more people. You guys ready? Oh, I forgot my energy drink upstairs. Oh, I'm gonna have to go get it in a little bit. We are going to do some stuff today. We are going to make everyone angry. That's what we're gonna do. And here's the deal, okay? Every single time I do this, I get these guys who never hop into the chat, except for one guy, and I don't want him in the chat. But they never hop into the chat. They never say anything, except when I do stuff like this, and then they're like, send the DMs. Like, I don't know what they have, but they have like buttons. Like maybe it's on their stream decks. I don't know. My stream deck isn't even plugged in because I don't really stream that much right now. But they have a stream deck button. They press it, and it sends all the DMs to everyone I know, and they come hunting for me. Well, guess what? No DMs this time, you weirdos. All right? I don't want to hang out with you. I don't want to be invited on your podcast. I don't want to have debates. I don't want to have conversations. I am a man in my basement giving my opinion about things that are public, things that people want other people to watch and have opinions on. It's okay. I'm allowed to. I know it's strange. I know in Christian circles, we just go like, oh, just pray for him. If you just pray for him, he'll be all right. You know, just Lord bless him. And, in time, he'll come around, that's between them and God. Okay. What I can do is I can give my opinion and sometimes warn some people away from some teachers. All right. Like sometimes you just got to run. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about people that we like, people that we dislike, people that should be avoided at all costs, and have a little bit of fun doing it. Okay. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to joke around a little bit. We're going to hop into the chat. We're going to see what people are talking about. All right. Again, I don't know what that voice is either. That's probably one that I do more often, though. I don't know what that voice was weird. Let's see what people are saying. Some weirdo said some stuff about hitting the like button. Okay. Whatever, dude. I am on Carol Ann. This is my name, too. My name. People shout. There goes Carol Ann Thompson. Okay. I'm a little excited to be hanging out with people. It's kind of different. We've been having a lot of like diabetes stuff, and it's a constant on my channel to talk about how we might have to do some stuff with diabetes tonight. So I got 3 devices in front of me, checking numbers, and I might have to duck out every once in a while. I don't know why I said it. All right, everyone, welcome to Underdog YouTube. Yes, that's right. Thank you for reminding me, Heidi. This is what I do to get everyone who is actually interested in my opinions to go away. Like that is like waiting to get mad about something. This I just procrastinate talking so that they just go away and then I can hang out with my friends. So that's what this is for. But thank you for bringing that to my attention, Heidi. I am here to formally resign from Christian YouTube. It's been a long time coming. Some of you guys said this would happen. There's no way he stays a Christian YouTuber. And I'm here to say that is correct. I don't want to be a part of your little scam. I'm tired of it. Like, we're going to get into it. I'm going to be fiery tonight. No, this is not the olive, but basically it is. All right. It's like once I get that energy drink in my hand, you guys just wait. All right. When I get it, it's going to be fantastic. We're going to do it live. We're going to have fun, but I'm also going to get a little fiery. because I've got some things to say. I don't want to be part of Christian YouTube anymore because Christian YouTube kind of sucks. Okay, I think honestly it might be one of the worst niches on YouTube. Like, I've watched YouTube for years and years and years, and every time I watch more Christian YouTube, and this, preparing for today, I watched some Christian YouTube, and no, not impressed. Not impressed, first off. Very concerned. But also, y'all really like money. Like, a lot of money. Like, considerably more money than pretty much any other YouTuber. Like, it's kind of crazy how much Christian YouTubers talk about money. Okay? It's nuts. So we'll talk about that too. But I am no longer part of Christian YouTube. I will only be a part of Underdog YouTube and Movie YouTube. But those are separate accounts, and we're not going to blend them, even though, it'd be kind of fun, but you guys don't want it. Okay. Salt and Light, what's up? Are we there yet? How much longer? You sound like my kids. So, are we there yet? This has been anticipated for months. Prepare to be disappointed. For months? Come on, guys. This isn't an Avengers movie. Won't be able to watch live. Aww. We're going to pour one out. Grape juice. Don't get mad. Don't get too mad yet. We're going to pour one out for the Claymore. Stoked. For all the kids, that means I'm looking forward to the stream. Thank you. I did not know what that meant because I am young. I did not find 3 more gray hairs in my beard this morning. That is not a thing that happened. Is that fire, Dean? It is. It's real. It was a dangerous picture, but I took it anyways. What's up, dude? R&B Studios is here. Let's be accused of being haters together. It's going to happen. Evening Underdogs. What's up, Wendy? Hope you're doing well. Heading out on a walk. Gonna listen while I walk. Handpick waving. Cal made another playlist that I haven't shared yet, which I need to share. Sorry, Cal. But Cal keeps on making playlists, and he was like, let me know when you get tired of this. And I was like, never. I think I sent the GIF of Harry Potter going, never! Like, that's this. Send all the playlists, Cal. Shanalee says, nah, if you wanted to make people really angry, you should rank their dating and marriage advice. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, I might do that. Maybe that's the next one. LOL, definitely DM you now, Dean. Like they're gonna. Yeah, last time I did the YouTubers, I got so many DMs. Like a crazy amount of DMs, and I'm not doing it again. Like I'm not gonna entertain it. I don't want to be friends. Okay, all right. As a Christian, I don't have to be friends with every single Christian ever. All right, I don't know you. We don't know each other. Maybe we interacted online on a tweet somewhere, or I commented on your video, or you hopped into the chat. That doesn't make us friends, okay? That's not real life, all right? Real life friends is like if you're in the chat all the time. Like a lot of you guys, you're my friends. But like random creator number 5 on Christian YouTuber, you're not my friend, all right? And I shouldn't have to feel like I'm a jerk for saying that. It's just, we're not friends. It's okay. Like, I can respect you like I would any person, and certainly any Christian, but that doesn't mean I have to be like super chummy. Doesn't mean I have to give you my phone number. I ain't giving you my phone number, bro. If you're DMing like 12 crazy DMs, I'm not going to give you my phone number. How is that? No, that doesn't make sense, right? Like if a scammer is like sending you a bunch, you're not like, oh, I guess now I'll click the link. No, thank you. Be you, boo. Thanks, man. I will continue to be me. I like the Southern accent. Do you? I don't know why I have to get like so. I'm sorry, Southerners. You're like, dude, you sound so effeminate. I don't know. It's just like a bit that I do. Tommy Morris, hello from Zambia, 3 a.m. here. Bro, go to sleep. Like, it's not worth it, bro. Curie Pie Lord, whoa, made it. How was your break? So glad you're back. Been missing your banter. The break is still happening. Like, this is just kind of fun. Like, this isn't super serious, although some people will be like, this is the most serious thing that has ever happened. Did you hear what that guy from Underdog Theology said? And it's just like, why take me that seriously? I don't know. I definitely don't take you that seriously. But, all right. Between the last video and the first 2 minutes of this live stream, I get the vibe that Dean is feeling a little something. Between the last video, the first 2 minutes of this, what was the last video? Now I'm curious. What is Dean feeling? Hey, underdogs. It's good to be back with y'all. What's up, tax collector? It's a busy time for the tax collector. For the record, Dean, I would like to get creative credit for this live stream, by the way. Yes, that's true. I should put that. Maybe I'll put it in the comments, or in the description. I need to give him credit. Sorry, this is plagiarism. Is this plagiarism? I don't know. Dale Partridge hasn't told me what plagiarism is yet. Okay. He would know. We going to talk about the weird Mike Winger tweets? He said if he dies, suspect the people he is researching. It was so odd. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. It's going to take a while, but stick with me. As I have my head in this, we're going to do this again. Why not? That makes sense. Obviously. You guys like the green screen? But we will be talking about it. And the Christian YouTubers call it a ministry, LOL. Yeah, that's how they get away with it. It's not a ministry, okay? You are trying to start a business. Is it a great business plan? Absolutely not, but you started it. So it is a business that you're trying to do, and a career that some people are starting to take. Very few people I would consider it being a ministry, especially if you're making money online from it and like promoting a whole bunch of stuff. We'll get into it, but there's a lot to talk about. Also, I got to make it a chill stream one of these days because we're going to talk about the Luka trade and how it broke the minds of the Nuggets and the Grizzlies, apparently firing coaches. There's like 6 days left in the season and then the playoffs. You're 4 seed. What are you doing? Everyone in Denver has to be ticked, right? Because what that means is like, you don't believe in the team. You're not here for sports. All right, we're going to lose people if we start talking about sports. We're already losing people because I'm bantering too much, and apparently that's wrong. Trash World's after party included Taylor tape measures. What? Was that in the swag bag? Like, they got tape measures? Cool. It's fun being silly. I agree. That's why it's a hobby, not a ministry. Okay. I hate to agree with the idea Christian YouTube sucks, but I have no argument against it. Christian YouTube needs 1 Corinthians 5. It needs a lot. It needs a lot, but there are some good people. Don't get me wrong. There are some good people doing fun stuff and doing interesting stuff and diving into their like preferences and stuff like that. It's cool. What I'm done with is like the people who like, all right, it's not on here. We're hopping into it. Here we go. All right. We're going to change stuff. All right. We're going to deal with some people. We're going to put them into these categories. We got dope, chill, meh, which I changed from okay. I hope that's okay. But meh, pass, hard pass, and run. All right, that's going to be our categories for today. And we're going to talk about some of these people. One of these people who's not on here because he's a Catholic. So I don't consider him a part of Christian YouTube because I'm a Protestant. And if you have a problem with that, I don't know what to tell you. It's been 500 years. Like, I'm just following after every single Protestant who has been around for 500 years. But some people get mad at me when I start talking about this. We got Ring. What? There's probably going to be some ads. All right. I don't want to be judged too much for him. Is it going to stay on here? Oh, look at them. That's bold. That's bold that they just have the ad there the whole time. They know what they're doing. All right. So one of the guys who's not on here is Capturing Christianity. Not a fan. Not a fan in the slightest. Talk about a guy who had an interest in something and then just got interested in other things and just continues to get interested in other things. This guy is trading theological preferences like they're Pokemon cards, okay? He is just like, what do you want to be? Oh, that sounds fun. I'll be that. And it's like, bro, you can't just have a YouTube channel where it's mostly about like arguments and logic and then switch it out for like, now I'm just about Catholicism. Like, that's not the same thing. People aren't happy about that. And he's just like, we need. All right. All right. We're gonna talk about this. I should have had the other thing. I sold my mic stand. And am I regretting it a little bit right now? A little bit. But him and the kid YouTuber sensation guy, who's probably not a kid anymore. Zoomer. There's Reformed Zoomer, Redeemed Zoomer. One of those, whichever one is the more famous one, those two, they are going at it on Twitter, and Zoomer is like actually like a good take of just like, hey, people don't want this, bro, and you're not very good at it, and we subscribe for other things that we thought you were good at, and now you're doing this, which you're not good at, so we don't want it no more. And because Capturing Christianity was like, please, can I have more money? Which is literally the only thing I ever see from Capturing Christianity, is him going on to like all of his platforms and being like, guys, we have lost so much funding. And if we want to make it up, and if we want to succeed, and if we want to reach all the things that we want to do, you got to give me more money. And it's just like, that's annoying. You know, if you need help, you need help. But if you're like constantly being like, there's no reason, like there's no medical problem, there's no like huge emergency scenario, but you're just like, guys, I just need more cash. You don't just keep on like hounding your audience to be like, you got to sign up for stuff. This is a free thing and you got to pay. Well, he keeps on doing that. And then he gets so mad at the Zoomer kid because like, he's like saying these things that pretty much everyone else is thinking. And he's just like, I didn't say we're struggling. We're actually doing better than ever. It's like, but you just got on here to say that you're like needing money, that you're going to be going to the red this year, stuff like that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, but that's the kind of Christian YouTubers that I see so often on this platform, where they're constantly, it's just like, they're just wanting to start a business. They're wanting to make money off of this stuff. And if you can, and you can feel good about that within your own conscience, and you're not super pushy, I'm not going to have too much problem with that. But it's the people who are pushy, the people who are like, I deserve this, the people who are like, you need to do this so that I can make more content, and like they're really pushy about it, that I go like, come on, man, just get a job, have a hobby. Just have a hobby, and it's fine if it's a hobby, and let it grow over years, and then you can do stuff. But, you know, they just think that they're great. Like Joel Webbin, after all, he is the best of us. Let's put him just here for now. And we'll scroll up so you guys can all see. So we're going to deal with Joel Webbin right off the bat. Obviously, he is a run for the hills. Like, just don't even be here. We don't need him. We don't need him online. All right, go be faithful in a church. The guy has shown he is disqualified. He's been disqualified from the very start, apparently. All right, the racism stuff aside, this guy's been unqualified. He, in other states, could have been convicted of clergy abuse. All right. In other states, that is a real law that you could go to prison for. And he did that. Now, whether he's apologetic about it or not, doesn't really matter. Like, that is like awful stuff. He was not qualified. And then everyone was just like cool with it, apparently. And they got mad about it a couple years ago, and they were going to write the letter, and then the letter got pushed out. And now everyone's mad about somebody releasing the letter, as if that's the real problem. No, this guy has shown that he has been disqualified with everything that he said, and then add this onto it. No one should be listening to this guy. One, he's not educated. Like, he hasn't gone to seminary. He went to like their little Christian college, but obviously it ain't great if you're doing that kind of stuff. Like, as you just got out there and they're just like giving him the keys of the kingdom. Little thing that I saw that was kind of interesting to me. His dad is a pastor. His dad is an actual like big pastor within that movement, within the Vineyard movement. So daddy let him go plant a church. And it's just like, oh, it's nepotism too. Like, Makes so much sense. But this is someone who should not be listened to at all. And I say that as seriously as I can. Like some of these we're going to joke about. This one, don't listen to this guy. Even if you like some of the like teaching, all right, you go and you listen to a sermon and somehow the racist stuff isn't in there and somehow the sexist stuff isn't in there. And you're like, oh, there's a gospel message in here. One, send me the link because I haven't heard the gospel from him. But, like if you do that and you're like, oh, I like his preaching when he goes into a text, it's good. You can get that from so many other people. You don't need it with this guy. So go and find someone else. What's up, Trey? Trey, I almost commented on your stream the other day. I watched a little bit and I was only in there for like 4 minutes and I was like writing something. And then my wife was like, we're going to watch No Country for Old Men. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore. I like Trey. He's not on this list. He is on another list. I think I put him pretty high because I like him. But it is a hobby. You are correct. Let's go with Chris Roseborough. I said it right. Don't come at me, okay? I learned my lesson. Pirate Christian radio guy. I'm going to just put him in pass. All right. Let me put this up here. Pass because it's not my jam. He's going at the prosperity gospel guys and just has made that his whole thing. He's one of the first Christian YouTubers that I think like actually started making their stuff look good, which kind of put him like a leg up. But right now we have like so many of these people. It's just like, whatever. I don't really care. I'm not going to pay attention to this stuff. But if you're like inundated with prosperity gospel stuff, maybe in your local context, I can see how you could find him helpful. Now, there is this moment that has come up lately with the Corey Mahler fella, the Stone Choir guy, and having him on the podcast. Dumb move. Just I want to say it even stronger. It's just a really foolish move to have him on anywhere. And this is kind of showing you my cards for probably later in some other channels. I think it's like just, there's no winning. When you're talking to a person who is crazy, who is a white supremacist, which I actually think there has to be something broke in your brain to be a white supremacist. And he is that. He might argue with it's not the title I would choose. Okay. But it doesn't change what you think. And we choose that title for you because of what you think. So to have someone like that on your podcast, on your show is just foolish because there's no reasoning with someone like that. When someone is so obsessed with something like that and is so contrary to everyone else in culture about that thing, they know more about it than you, right? So if you debate that person, as long as that person is not going to lose control, if they're actually able to carry on a conversation and be able to deal with someone who doesn't, agree with their thoughts, they're going to come out and win that argument. And he did. There's no winning in a scenario like that. The best thing that someone can do with a white supremacist is to completely and utterly ignore him. Sorry to go KJV on you, but to utterly ignore him. Just put him in a corner, and that's what he is. All right? The only reason why I know his name is because other people started talking about him. The only reason why you know his name is most likely because other people started talking about him. And this guy just goes I could use that. I'm going to have him on. I'm going to make him I'm going to get him to say all the things out loud, even if that's the truth of what you wanted. That's not a great strategy because they're going to say all the things out loud, but then they're going to have reasons for what they say, and they might swindle foolish people out there. And let's be honest, some of the people that watch all of the Christian YouTube, they don't have someone in their real life who is feeding them. They're desperate for more teaching online, and they might buy into some things that they shouldn't. And you are just opening that up for them. That's not a great move. That's not a great, I think anyone who has a platform has a responsibility to caretake. You're not a pastor. I'm not the pastor of this congregation of Underdog Theology, but I do have a responsibility to at least try my best to filter the kind of stuff that is out there. It's why I don't have a lot of people on the channel. It's why I don't, promote a lot of things, because I don't want to be held accountable for those people when they go wrong. Because, history's kind of shown they kind of go wrong quite a bit. And it's just, no, I don't want to have that. So that's what people should be doing. That's not what Chris Roseborough did. And I don't think it was a good move. And I think I'm going to pass on it. If you like him, good for you. 700 Club, I think Dylan put it as a joke, but run for the hills. A lot of these are from you guys, people that you are interested in, that you care about. So that's why we're talking about them. I have never watched the 700 Club like on TV. I've only seen clips, and all the clips are crazy. So no, thank you. All things theology. All right, I'm going to put him here for a minute. Don't get mad. I know that there's some overlapping audience here. Let me move some things around so I can see the chat. All things theology. This is that K-Dub guy. He is a former rapper, maybe still rapper, who, talks about theology. All the same thumbnails. Like, I don't know how. He's big. Like, he's got like 80,000. I think I have a list of YouTubers I check in with, and today I definitely checked in on the YouTuber list on X, and I saw that he had posted a picture of like 80,000 subscribers, which congrats. But like, that's really impressive. But I don't know how you got there by doing the same thumbnail every single time. So as far as content goes, not a fan. Again, like, I think we have enough of the prosperity gospel beaters, like the guys who just go around like beating on the prosperity gospel guys. Like, I think that there's enough Justin Peters videos out there that anyone who has a problem with prosperity gospel people can find that stuff. And it's a resource that sits on YouTube and is going to be valuable for a prolonged amount of time, but people continue to make content out of it. And so while like, there's nothing like problematic as far as like doctrine on doing that, it's just like, I just am not interested in that content. Now, his Twitter is something else. His Twitter, he lets loose on Twitter and has a lot of opinions, and he says it very strongly, even though it doesn't seem like he has any knowledge in those fields. He says some pretty whack stuff. So I'm not a fan of his X. The way he interacts with people, the way he has interacted with me on X, not a fan of that. There's a lot of condescension. But as far as content goes, I'll put him in meh. I'll put him in meh, which means okay. All right. Like, so, when I say meh, it's not bad. It's just like the middle. All right. Todd Friel, probably right there with his buddy. What's the deal? He's a radio jockey who has someone script out videos for him. That's what it is. And the script is fine. He's annoying. People say I'm annoying. So, you like what you like. So I'm not a fan. I used to watch his stuff way back in the day. And some of these, like, I think I've talked about Todd Friel before. So some of these are going to be overlapping, but enough people asked about it that I'm like, I'm not going to make you go and watch the other video. I'll just put him in here. So yeah, he's fine. Not going to spend too much time about it. Stephen Nichols, chill. I like, oh yeah, I need to put it up. I like Ligonier quite a bit. If R.C. Sproul liked him, I think he's got to be pretty good. Even John MacArthur, all right. Like, I disagree with a lot about his ways that he has dealt with church discipline stuff, the way he treats women, a lot of that kind of stuff, typical fundy stuff. For me, I could look past some of those things and appreciate some of the good things. I'm not saying John MacArthur's great. Don't, get me wrong. You can see the other video for that. But Stephen Nichols, I like him. I like him. I've appreciated his writing. His sermons I've listened to have been pretty great. So I don't know of any like tweets or anything that would be like, oh no, you shouldn't like him. So I like Stephen Nichols. So I'll say he's pretty chill. Tom Askell. I'm going to put him in pass. All right. what a change. He's one of the few guys that you can see got so frustrated with the SBC stuff that he just went like ballistic. And now he's like tweeting things like that interaction that he had with Cosper, calling him like what he's saying, he's calling him an effeminate, but like that word also means gay. And he just like tweets that out at him. And it's just like, all right, if you're going to interpret in Corinthians where Paul uses that word and everyone says it's gay, like, but then you're going to say, but this time it means effeminate. It's just like, like, and then all the guys loved it, right? And he continues to do that. And now with him starting the seminary, you can see how clearly he is done with the SBC. He will be leaving the SBC for sure. I don't know if it's going to be this year or if in 5 years, but eventually he is setting things up for at least his ministry, maybe his church, whoever's going to take over for him. Not going to be Longshore anymore. I don't know. Maybe he's gonna come back. He's gonna leave the Presbyterianism behind, and he's gonna become a Baptist again, because apparently you can switch up teams whenever you want. But maybe he comes back and he goes down that route. But whoever takes over for him is probably going to be leaving the SBC, I would imagine, and he is setting up the stage for that. He is a jerk online. He just is. Like, you can get mad at me for saying that, but he is very mean. Like, he goes at people, and it's cruel. He paints with a very broad brush online. His sermons, his teachings, nothing really all that wrong. I would agree with most things because he claims to be a 1689 guy. And so I'm a 1689 guy. So we're going to agree theologically on stuff. But we all know that it's not just about orthodoxy. It's about orthopraxy, how you live your life, how that doctrine affects how you actually live. And that stuff makes him very concerning for me. The trajectory that he's on, that looks like he's going to like the Brian Sauvé's, the Joel Webbin route, make me very concerned. So I would say pass. Not a hard pass yet, but pass. And Tom Buck right there with him. It seems like these two have just like, they just lost. Like, I don't know, like I've been frustrated before, you know, like denominationally, I've been frustrated before. And maybe you get a little bit more antagonistic when you're frustrated. And so these guys, maybe like I'm going to give them the benefit of a doubt that some of the stuff that they've done online is because of passion, you know, that they feel very passionate about their position, about egalitarianism being a big deal within the SBC and them trying to fight that. So some of that might be that. But when you're putting out like documentaries, just trying to throw people under the bus like Karen Swallow Prior, like when you put out his wife wrote an article about how Tom was physically abusive. I mean, that's what it said. There was hitting. What else is a hit? Okay. But she wrote that article with the intention of having it published, and then got real mad when that article that she was trying to get published and trying to use Karen Swallow Prior to accomplish that, like they got all mad because it got sent out to somebody and somebody leaked it. Like, you were trying to publish it. So like, I don't get all like victim-y about that to me. Like you were looking for like that to get published to be out there for the public. And now it is, you know, I guess you didn't get to write an article, but you wrote it for that purpose. It wasn't like, here's my story and I'm thinking about turning it into an article. It was, here's the article. Who do you think can publish it? Well, it got published. So sorry. Tom Buck, like, and also just think about that. So this is just, once again, like you find these stories out from some of these guys that you find problematic online. And then you find out like, oh, he did that while he was a pastor and he never stepped down. Like, so he says like, oh, it's about the gospel and restoring stuff. Cool. Why didn't you step down as a pastor while you were, you know, in this stage of rage toward your wife all the time? You know, like that's a sin. So maybe if it's an ongoing sin, you should, you know, maybe not Be a pastor. Okay. It's above reproach. Okay. Corey Mahler, obviously run for the hills. Run for the hills. Once you pass the hills, get in the boat, swim. Like if you lose the oar while you're going in the boat, get out and swim as far as you can. All right. Like, this guy should not be listened to by anyone. He should not be a pastor. I don't think he's a Christian. I don't see how you could be following after the ways of Jesus and have such hate in your heart toward people because of their race, because of the color of their skin. I don't care what you say about Ham and the curse and blah, 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 blah. You're crazy. You're insane. You shouldn't be doing anything other than getting help. And the people who are platforming him should know better. But unfortunately, they just don't. Like Samuel Say. Samuel Say is going to have... he's going to have a debate with him on Bible dingers. Prepare for a bloodbath, y'all. I don't know. Like, all I know Samuel Say is from his tweets. In some of his articles, he was the one who talked about how he was like spanking his baby. Just like the stuff you have to say. This is like, do you now understand what I'm talking about Christian YouTube? About like all the things and like some of the awful things that people like with Joel Webben is different. That was in his past and it got unveiled. But like some of the stuff is just like public that they think like, oh, this is good. This is good. I'm going to push it out. Like people are going to really like this. And you put it out there and people are like, wait, you just had a baby and it's your only child. What are you talking about? Discipline. Like, what is that about? So that's foolish. I take a lot of his takes to be kind of naive. That's just my opinion. People will say I'm mean for saying it, but I have a brain and I read things and I have an opinion. So he's now going to be debating this guy down here. And it's just like, that's not going to go well for him. I don't know how great he is at debates. I really hope he's good because otherwise it's going to be a bloodbath. And it's stupid. Don't debate crazy people. Like, if you're going to debate somebody, and again, debates aren't my jam. I don't like them. But if you're going to debate people, like, don't debate the crazy person in the corner. Like, just let that, like I've said it, it's like a little flame. Just let it die out. Cut off the oxygen to it. Like, we don't need to have this stuff put out there anymore. You know, like, I think there's even some things like vandalism. Like here in my city, guys, one of the parks that's like 4 blocks away from me is like getting cleaned up currently because somebody decided to spray paint a whole bunch of anti-Jew stuff, swastikas and stuff. Like, and it was in the newspaper, or at least the online equivalent of it. And I was like, why even put it there? Just like silence this stuff. Just clean it up. Don't talk about it. Stuff like that. They are doing it obviously for publicity. He is doing this stuff for attention. Like, whether he believes it or not, I don't know. Like, psychos believe a lot of things, and sometimes they're deceived into it. Sometimes they just make up stuff so that people will pay attention to them. Either way, just don't pay attention to them. And so he's going to have this debate. I don't think it's worthwhile for anybody. I don't think anyone's opinion is going to change. And I think, at least in the better, the only thing it could do is worse. And I just don't see the benefit and stuff like that. But he's going to do it. So go root on your guy. Let's see. Some of you guys are in here. I saw Aaron. What do you say? Tom should be considered for Run for the Hills. I mean, he's dangerous. Like, he uses people. Both him and Tom Buck have used people. They love Rachel Denhollander, and she did a lot of stuff for these guys, bending over backwards to help them. And then what do? Demonize in the documentary. Like, the way that the SBC as a whole, but specifically these guys have treated the Denhollanders, it's insane. I love the Denhollanders, by the way. Jacob is a good Canadian boy. And, he likes hockey a little bit too much for me, but I appreciate him. And I would consider him an online friend. But maybe he would be in the run category for his hockey takes. But yeah, I don't appreciate those guys. I think the doctrine changing how people live is something we miss a lot. 100%. Doctrine by Ray Ortlund Jr. is one of my favorite books and is great on that topic if you're looking for a book. I really want that energy drink. I'm going to pause this. I can mute myself and then yell at my kid to bring it to me. I love having a kid who's like responsible and stuff. It's great. Tom still doesn't see what he did to his wife as disqualifying. Right. Did you see that Trinity Evangelical Divinity School is merging with Trinity Western, a Canadian school? I did see that. Very interesting between like the US-Canada angle of it. Not surprising, though. I think a lot of schools will be trying to find someone. Thank you, son.
Can I say hi?
You could say hi, sure. But you got to step over here because we're in the green screen.
Hi. I am this guy's son. Subscribe to his channel or I will find you and I will throw you out the window of your house.
Whoa, that got real violent. We're getting canceled for that one too. Thank you. All right. Bye. Kids are crazy. Oh, it sounded so good. Okay. But yeah, I think a lot of schools will be doing that moving forward. So we're going to see more and more of it. What's up, Pam? You are late. You're not allowed to watch the rest of this video now. You have to go home. Go home, Pam. When one of these guys say we need to go back, I'm starting to think they mean go back to paganism. Maybe. We were talking with our son, but still, come on, Pam. That's right. I can't believe it. Dylan was here. We don't know how long. Maybe he hopped in after, but he was here. Michael says, Jeff Durbin needs a hard pass. Neo-Puritan militarianism built on lies about history and abusive online. Oh, no. Joke's on you, chill. No, I'm just kidding. Here's what I'll say. I'm going to put him in pass. So far I'm so fiery, right? Like it's just a lot of people getting in pass, which is just okay. We'll get more fiery as we go along. Just give me a little time with my energy drink. But Jeff Durbin, I'll say, is someone who I've gained just the tiniest bit of respect for because he is standing up to Joel Webbin, because he is against those guys and some of the racism that is a part of their movement. You're not going to see that in people like Dusty Devers. They're not coming out with statements. Even if they do, move away. Like he didn't speak at the conference. You don't see him going at this stuff, but you do see that from Jeff Durbin. And so I do want to give him credit for that. That being said, he is so prideful online. I'm sure people would be like, oh, really? He's not the one tier ranking Christian people. Well, I'm having fun. But I'm doing this a little bit tongue in cheek. But these guys, they don't know how to do that. So they're so serious about everything. They take themselves so seriously. And, he's just not the best. But I wouldn't put him as far as that. I don't know what you're referring to with that, but, Andrew Isker is definitely a run for the hills. But make sure you're careful about which hills you run to, because apparently he's building a Christian nationalist state in one of those hills. So watch out for him. I don't know how this guy is known. He seems like me. Okay. I shouldn't be like getting a bunch of interviews and being looked at as some like thought hero, like just, somebody who's leading the way in this field or whatever. Like if anyone has interviewed me, they know, like, I'm just kind of shooting the breeze with people, but he comes on and he's so goofy. Like he's overly goofy for someone who's talking about like such serious things. And I just don't understand why people take him seriously at all with any of it. He's like, again, you're noticing a trend, right? Like it's a bunch of young people like it's a bunch of young people who are the wackadoos run for the hills, unless you're in the 700 club, I guess. But they all think that they're like, I don't know, maybe this is the result of like that participation trophy thing of just like everyone thinks that they're so great, and it's just like, no. Like, I don't know. No, I don't think so. But so yeah, he's with Joel Webb, and he's speaking at that he spoke at that conference as in the past now. But also he's trying to build a Christian nationalist state. Has crazy political views. There's a video going around right now that apparently he has very strange ideas about the TSA and what their machines are capable of. So you can go on to Twitter if you're more interested. Ray Comfort. I'll put him in meh. I'll put him a little bit above. I keep on having to remember to scroll up. I'll put him a little bit above like Chris Roseborough, but not much. Like he just beats people with the law. Like people are like, oh, he's a great evangelist. No, like so many people think that evangelism is argumentation. Like, and people who've been around the channel for a long time know how I feel. But if you haven't been, or you haven't heard me rant about this before, here you go. You can't logic someone into the kingdom. All right. You can't just be like, I won the argument, so now you belong to Jesus. Like, that's not how it works. And his like, have you stolen anything before? What does that make you? You know, like, have you lusted after someone before? What does that make you? Well, the law says this. So what do you know, like all of that. Now he does give somewhat of a good gospel message after, but he beats people so down with the law that it's just, there's no compelling reason for Christ other than a fire escape. And that's the problem with these kinds of evangelists. Like sometimes that works, but other times it just like those people don't walk away changed. They just walk away knowing that they made it into that guy's video because he won. And so I think that that's just why I'd put him here. I'm sure like he has led more people to Jesus than me. So there's that, I guess. But I don't think Jesus is like, you're so far behind, you know, so I'm trying my best, Jesus. So James White, known around these parts as Future Me. Future Me. I will never forget when I was watching that video and he was talking about Christian, like kind of Christians online, Christian YouTube a little bit. And the way he was talking about why he doesn't partner with some people and everything, I was like, he gets it. That is exactly my take on that. Like, and I've never heard anyone else think that way. It's always like, oh, partner with people and grow your platform. And, you know, we should get in the same group. And like, I was in a Christian YouTube group for like a week because I wanted to be there. And then about a month and a half because I didn't know how to leave. And then I just told the guy who was leading it, who is cool. I just told him this isn't for me. Like, I don't want to be a part of this. But like, yeah. But James White, he's the same person that like just a lot of you have asked about him. I will say at this point, I'm putting him above these guys for sure. Like, yeah, I'm putting him above every single one of these guys. But I've never been a fan. I've appreciated some of his takes lately, but there's still like the Doug Wilson attachment that is very problematic to me. And so he's not going any higher than that. And I reserve the right to put him lower in the future, as I do with all of these things. I can change my mind. I'm allowed to. Let's take a sip while Virgil watches and wonders, what is he going to say about me? You want to know who can make cool stuff? Rockstar. Look at their new design. It's so fresh. They took a classic design and made it like really cool looking. All right, Virgil Walker. Nope, we're gonna make him sweat just a minute longer. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually going to fix this because it's not looking good. We're just going to say it's a color. We're just going to let it be a color. And we're going to go, sure, that color is good. Why did that not work? Background, we don't want style, dynamic. Color, yeah. Why didn't it work? Work. You're supposed to work. I pay you to work. Oh, the opacity is all the way down. Oh, that went away. Guys, this is why. Like I say, it's because I don't want to, but it's really this. I'm just not able to do these things. But okay. No, that's a little dark or a little too bright. Let's go here. Let's go. Oh, right there. Sure. We're calling it good there. And let's go. We'll put it right there. And let's get real fancy. Let's put it back up. And then let's get real fancy. You know what we're going to do? Check this out. It's going to blow your mind. Okay. We're going to put a shadow. We did it. Okay. So many of you are like, what is he doing? It might be interesting. Oh, he just put a shadow. Okay. James White is a run. He teaches heretical stuff on the Trinity. Sure, he's good on the woke right stuff, but awful on the Trinity. I don't know what you're referring to. Maybe he has. I don't watch all of his stuff. So I will have some caveats, but I haven't heard that stuff. So I'd be interested to know what that is. But I'm not going to probably watch a ton of videos. So just send me the bullet points. And he is pals with Wilson. Yes, that's probably the most problematic thing for me, what I know about him. Aaron says, James White is all in with Jeff Durbin. Same stuff, same goals, 100%. We got Rockstar here. Yeah, it's great. This is where the addiction started. I agree with Aaron Goings. Isn't that nice for us? Yes, while they're holding hands, they're also agreeing. James White and Jeff Durbin belong on the same tier. I will go farther and say hard pass on both for me. Let me know what you guys think about some of these people. Hey, what's up, Orlando? Orlando! Hope you're doing well. Sorry, Dean, but the Rockstar logo that you like so much, they use the backward R, just like Right Response Ministries. And where do you think Right Response Ministries got that? 100% from this. Okay. They've had that backwards R for a long time. But yeah. But I mean, like, anyone can see that he's stolen that logo design, but no one ever accused a Christian nationalist of being creative. So James White needs to go to pass. He's one of the most divisive personalities on YouTube. He makes it seem like he's so much smarter and cleverer than you, and you better not disagree with him on anything. Yeah, he does seem very prideful. Virgil Walker should have stayed with doing the Just Thinking podcast when he started venturing out. He got ridiculous. All right, let's start talking about Virgie. Can I call you Virgie? Virgil has, I guess, been a watcher for a very long time, and has made that very known by being in the chat and making some jokes, but also sending DMs. Again, no more DMs. I'm done with DMs. Virgil Walker. All right, I'm going to put him in the beginning of pass. That's where I'm going to put. I don't like all of the G3 guys. It's the most vanilla takes you could have. Like, I don't know. It must be really hard fundraising. I'll say that, like, for this group, because they just say the most, like, there's no reason, like, there's no mission other than just normalcy. But even that, it's like the far right of normalcy. That's just like a little bit further, and you start getting into like the Doug Wilson. So the people who would be like really passionate about supporting something like that, I would imagine that they have a hard time differentiating themselves from like the canon press people. And I know I've talked about that connection quite a bit, but also just like how close theologically they are to all of that stuff versus like, TGC, like I feel like there's a big difference between those two, and you can see why someone would give them money versus them. I'm not interested, but also just like coming into the chat and trying to throw your weight around as the vice president of J3 and then being like, I was joking, not appreciated, but also it's just like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like he seems like someone who has just watched a lot of content and thinks that everyone thinks like him. You get in a bubble and you just start living your life as a bubble boy, like I'm not trying to like really make fun of him. But just like you think like everyone thinks the same as you because you're in this bubble and you can't really put yourself in someone else's shoes. And that's what I get from him. Then you got like all the political stuff that he's done on Twitter over the last like couple years with the election and all of that. Whatever, you have political stuff, but I don't know why anyone needs to listen to your opinion about politics. You're supposed to be about theology. That's still one thing that I'll always have with a gripe with all these people is if they're trained for like theology and they all want to be known for something else. And it's just like, one, why isn't theology good enough for you? But also like, it's just like, why should I care about your opinion any more than like a concrete worker, like you have the same amount of education on that subject. Like I don't know why I should listen to you. But yeah, so for the coming into the chat and all that stuff, I'll say pass. But I mean, he's the same as all the other G3 guys. So nothing, you won't find any heresy. You won't find anything that's like, other like problematic. You'll find things that are problematic, but you won't find anything that's like, oh, he shouldn't be qualified to do anything, like, I don't think you're going to find that stuff. So I guess we'll put him over here. Which you guys can't see. I put him in the meh, but he's at the very bottom of the meh. All right. Because we're also ranking. These are rankings. All right. Dang it. You guys can't see it. Bob the Baptist. Oh, you can see it. Let's go up. Bob the Baptist. I believe this is the thumbnail for his channel, isn't it? Bob the Baptist. Paging Bob the Baptist. Are you watching, Bob? This is your channel, right? It's not. When I Google search Bob the Baptist, this is what came up, and it's like fundy, like old vinyl. And I just thought it was super funny. So this isn't what his channel looks like. Hashtag Tank Top Army. Hashtag Amil for life. Bob the Baptist is so rad. Okay, I'm digging these videos, man. I don't comment on every single one, but I watch all of them, and I think he's great. I think his theology is on point. I think he's even made me consider some things like, with his stuff about like the sin of empathy and pitting me against Joe Rigney. He was right a little bit about some of our similarities. And so like he's made me think about things. I'm sure lots of people have been benefited. I'm so glad that he like really started making videos and like doing them consistently, because I think there's such a need for someone like that. I can't do that. I just lose interest. But also like, I don't know the Gen Z stuff, and I don't really care to like do the deep dives on like, I won't go and listen to a ton of Joel Webbin's sermons. I'm not going to go and like figure out what the Stone Choir guys are actually saying. Like I just have no interest in that. But he can come back with some really good thoughts and deal with scripture and just do it in a way that's really funny and clever and unique. And that's like probably the biggest thing, unique. Like there's not a lot of unique guys on YouTube and on Christian YouTube. And he is that. And so I'm very glad that he's been a part of this community. I'm very glad that he has started his own community and that he's doing so well. He's almost at 1,000 subs. So if you haven't subscribed to him, go and get him over that line. That's so cool. His videos are popping and it's good. It's entertaining, man. It's entertaining. So many of the people that talk about theology, even if they talk about theology well, they don't do it in an entertaining way. And he does. And so I'm just really impressed with the guy. And I've loved like having him on the channel, like in the comments and in the chat. He's been so fun. And so I'm just really glad that we get to find out more about his personality and all the funny stuff he does, and like the tank tops and talking with his kids and, relating things to the covenant. I could not say just how much more happy I am that he's doing so well and making that kind of content. So he's dope for reals. John is in here, and we'd probably say hard pass. No, I've already ranked John, but he's not on this list. Inspiring philosophy. I don't know. I'll say meh. I'm not interested in this stuff at all. Like, I watched a couple videos today because so many of you guys asked for him. And I was like, I don't see the appeal. He comes off as just really prideful to me, but maybe that's also just like I like listening to someone who is confident about what they think, but they leave room for disagreement on, not like the main things, but leave a little bit of room of like, if you don't know, you don't know. And like saying that, I appreciate that honesty. And I don't know if in that world you just don't do that. Maybe that's why I don't like apologetics, but it's just like, it's always, I don't know. There's always just like this innate pride that I just don't appreciate when it comes to like these philosophers and even calling yourself that and the way they talk. It's just no good. Messed up church. I'm going to put him in meh, which is okay. Okay. Like I'm going to put him at the top of meh. Now, again, he is one of these guys that is just like the prosperity gospel sucks. And it's true, but I don't know if we need all the videos about it. But I will say this. I think this guy is funny, and I think this guy is unique. And again, unique goes a long ways for me. And I like his style. He's just like an old guy having fun with tech and talking about stuff that he's interested in. And I appreciate that. So yeah, he's fine. Like, I don't think you're going to find anything that's super problematic. But whatever. Doreen, I don't know a whole lot about her other than, she's watched the channel and has reached out, and I forget. It's been a while. But she seems pretty okay. But I don't watch a lot of her stuff, so I don't know too much, like John MacArthur type, that world. That's the vibe that I get, and obviously like the whole, like leaving witchcraft stuff and whatever, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, I guess. I like her as a person. I'll say that. Jordan Peterson. No. Jordan Cooper. I'll put him probably there. I find him interesting. Like, he's a Lutheran, so I'm not going to agree with a lot of his theology. He'd probably participate in circles that I wouldn't. But when I hear him talk about the gospel, it sounds pretty right to me. I do not care about his fashion stuff. I don't know, man. Some people. I don't know why people need, like, I like basketball and I like movies, but I don't make that a huge part of the channel, or at least I try not to, because you guys aren't here for that. I don't know why anyone is there for Jordan Cooper's like fashion stuff and like a man dresses in a tie. I'll take my Carhartt and my Vans hats over a tie any day. I lived in that world. The yoke of burden. No, thank you. He's fine. Eric Mason. Hard pass. I don't like saying it. All right. I read Woke Church, and guess what? I gave it an okay review. I said it was problematic with his ways that he approached scripture. I viewed it as problematic, but the way that the opinions I got to at the end, I actually thought it was right. Since then, maybe this is like the same thing as Tom Buck and what's his face Askell, but I think there's a real thing of when people get so hated on, they either like listen to the hate and like go like, is this reasonable? Is this not? Or they just get super defensive and go further and just like write off everyone who has any criticism and say it's all hate and move right past it. And that's what he did. It's pretty clear that's what he did. The circles that he's in now versus where he was before, the things that he is so loud about online versus what he was before, seems like a very different guy. But he's also a very different guy from even like, you just go back. It's like some of these guys, they have these patterns of becoming so and so different. And like 5 years ago, he was, the woke church guy who was just starting to talk about some of this stuff. And then 5 years before that, he was in the Acts 29 stuff and saying things very differently. And 5 years before that, it was the early days with Mark Driscoll, and him, like they were buddies. And so like some of these guys, like, yes, people learn and they progress, but some of them also just like find a niche and they see if they fit in. And then they go like, this niche isn't working out, find a different one. And that's kind of what I view for him. Hard pass on that because his hermeneutics are whack. And like the way that he talks to people, he had a podcast. I watched a couple episodes. Wow, he just thinks he's the smartest guy ever. You want to talk about James White and like the pride from James White? I don't know. Like, go watch a Eric Mason video. Now, again, the woke church stuff, it's easy to hate on the title. And I think a lot of the people who hated on that book didn't read the book. They just looked at the title. But I have problems with where he's gone since then. Wise disciple. All right. I watched more of his videos. I'm going to put him at the top of meh. I watched more of his videos today, and I get it. Like he was going through the debates of, he's on the list, O'Connor and some other dude that I see in pictures a lot on YouTube, and I pass over them every single time. Andy Woodward, maybe. But there was a debate that Ruslan hosted, and he was going through and like, making points back and forth. And some of you guys asked about Wise Disciple. I had put him on the list before. I would say like, I actually get it now. He was a debate teacher. And so it makes a lot more sense that he would be more inclined to like viewing things with argumentation. And even though it's not a field that I appreciate, I was like, oh, okay, I get it a little bit more now. And some of the points that he was making I thought were pretty solid. I haven't watched all of his content, so I'm not going to like stand on a mountain and be like, plant the flag of he's awesome forever. There's only a few people I'm going to do that for. One of them is Aaron, who says, I only look to Christian YouTube for fashion advice, which makes a lot more sense if you know Aaron. Sorry, bud. Mike Winger. Again, I wear Carhartts all the time. Who am I to judge? Mike Winger. Hard pass. Oh, get him! Get the pitchforks! All right, let's talk about Mike Winger. I'm gonna put him at the bottom of meh, and here's why. All right, a lot of you guys love Mike Winger, and I get it. He's one of the few guys on YouTube that actually talks about the Bible, and that goes a long ways. Again, unique, and his style, like, I don't like it. Like, I don't know, it's hypocritical, I know, because all of my videos are like 5 hours long. So, and I just ramble, and he has actual points. So I get it. All right, don't come at me. I understand it. I know myself, and I know what people can say. I talk too long, but I just can't stay for his videos. I don't find him very entertaining. And honestly, a lot of his opinions are just like, okay, that's pretty obvious. I don't know why you had to talk about that for an hour and a half, and it's like, this is what, John MacArthur has like 8 different sermons on that everybody listens to. And you're acting like you just came up with this thing. But he comes from a world that doesn't do that kind of stuff. And so that's his background. And so he has kind of come out of that. Now, this whole thing that he did lately is like incredibly problematic, and no one's talking about it. He went on to Twitter, was it yesterday or the day before, and said something about like, if you don't hear from me, it's because of the people that I'm looking into right now, or like check in on the people who I'm looking into right now. If something happens to me, and he's like, they've done incredibly awful things. And it's just like, what are you talking about? He's insinuating that someone is gonna him, like one of the Benny Hens, like one of those kinds of guys is gonna him for his YouTube videos. Like, if something happens to me, like, what are people supposed to think? Like, if your video, like if your channel, like if my channel goes away, then maybe someone did it. Like, that's something, if that's what you're saying. But he said it that way, and anyone with a brain can be like, is he talking about like someone sending some guy all dressed in black, like getting out of a van real quick and pulling you in? Like, what are you talking about? And that is nuts. And then he says like, I've heard that this has happened before or something like that, or people have talked about it. If you have any knowledge of criminal activity of that kind, you should talk to the authorities. You shouldn't go onto Twitter about it. Like, talk to the authorities and be like, hey, like this person told me this, and then they can go talk to that person and find out the truth or not. Don't go online being like, guys, if they end me like that, what? Like, that's a very serious accusation. So either you are so dramatic as a YouTuber that you are saying like that's the worst thing you could accuse somebody of. And like, you're just like throwing it out there like it's nothing because you're overly dramatic and looking for attention, or you've heard about criminal activity and you're not going to report that. Like, both of these options are not good, but one is like, what is wrong with you? Like, if you think Benny Hinn did something, like, you need to go and you need to talk to the authorities. Obviously, you have videos where they're like 16 hours long, so you know how to talk. Just go talk to the cops. Don't be talking on Twitter. Like, it's just so weird. So either of those options puts him way further down the list than I would normally have him. I was so shocked when I saw that. It's just like, and like everyone's just like praying for you. This calling the cops for you. Like, what? No. Now, most likely that's just him being way overly dramatic and putting out a tweet that's sensational and like trying to get attention, or like just venting, but you're venting about someone like he's been making all these videos about Benny Hinn. So like, it's kind of obvious. Like, what are you talking about? So that's super weird. Again, Christian YouTube. So helpful. Redeemed Zoomer. Right? Let me know. There's a reformed one too. I don't know. Those are the only Zoomers I know on. Yeah, I'm going to go hard pass. Hard pass on Redeemed Zoomer. You tier rank denominations and you just put Baptists into one. You know nothing. You know nothing. You don't know anything about Baptists at all, because every Baptist is different. And there's like 1,000 different kinds of Baptists. And you need to not put everyone into a category. Now, He's obviously very problematic with some of his teachings as well. The way he is so cozy with some of these crazy right wingers and then just like turns on them. It's just, plus he's a kid. He's a kid who never went to like college, seminary for this stuff. He just put out stuff, and because he's got the Gen Z humor, I guess he got a lot of the Gen Z guys. I don't appreciate the videos I've seen. I thought they were pretty simplistic. I don't want to get theology from 18-year-olds. Okay. And you shouldn't either. Like there's an ongoing thing, except for a few people. Like the worst of the worst on this list is going to be young people, because they think they're so smart. And he obviously does. And the way he talks on Twitter, like those tweets are nuts. Okay. Some of the things that he just goes and he flies off the handle and says everything as if he's like 100% confident about everything. Now, I know some people have said like, well, he's neurodivergent or something like that. Like I've seen some of that stuff. I don't know whether those things are accurate or not, but I don't know the background of every single person. And why should I have to know that in order to have an opinion about the content that they make? Okay. I don't know that. All I know is what this guy makes, the videos that he makes, the tweets that he puts out, and this is the stuff that he says. So, hard pass. Don't get your theology from people who haven't graduated college yet. Let them make their little stuff, let them play in the corner with their blocks and just, have fun over there. And once they graduate from the blocks, then they can start, maybe talking with others. And, there's a process. There's a process for these things. Keith Foskey, I would have put him in hard pass because of his obsession with Doug Wilson. Like he calls himself like some version of Doug Wilson. His videos, like the denomination stuff, it's a clever idea. I don't think he's as funny as people say, but the humor is a subjective thing. But actually I've caught a couple of his streams and I have appreciated the way he answers specific questions from his audience. And he seems to do it with real care and like pastoral care. And that goes a long ways for me. So I'm not a fan. Again, the connections with Doug Wilson, super problematic for me. But for that reason, I will keep him in pass in that I don't want to watch his stuff. But all right. Apologetics Canada. This is Apologetics Canada. I'm going to put in chill. I would say it's good. It's, if you like apologetics, then it's good. I don't think it's like the best stuff out there. I don't think it's like something that everyone should be like fawning over, but it's fine. Evangelical dark web. Run for the hills. Put him at the very, very, very bottom. Again, this is the guy who on the day that Tim Keller died said he was in hell. And that was like his, so sorry, Tim Keller passed away. Now he's burning. So great. Very chill guy, right? He's interacted with the channel, immediately got blocked because the stuff that he says is so out there. One of those guys who should not be listened to. He's a kid with a camera, webcam, has a flag behind him for background. Never trust anybody who has a flag as background. Okay. At least have other things in it, but just like a literal flag is your background. No, thanks. Very, very professional. But he saw pulpit and pen and said, I could do that. And it's just, no. Nope. I want a big one. Okay. Take a little break. Yeah, I could see that. Watching some more of his stuff, I could see, he you can see very clearly he honestly wants the best for the people that watch his channel. Again, I think he's deceived with the Doug Wilson stuff. That connection is super problematic, but I can see his heart in it, and I appreciate the heart. Yeah. Any kind of dark web equals a hard pass, right? Just like, come on, even the name. What are you doing? Keith Foskey, here's how men from different denominations screw in a light bulb, rinse, repeat. Yeah. And it's just like there's so much spacing issues as someone who appreciates comedy and even movies. And I've seen like he obviously appreciates like 80s movies and stuff too. Here's the deal. He's a fundy. He's a former fundy, and you can see it. You can see it. All the funny fundies are like the exact same. And I've known like 1,000 Keith Foskeys, and it's always the same. You know, they like reading joke books, and they have humor, and people think they're really funny. For me, it's not that funny because you can see how rehearsed it is. I like people who like think on their feet and say funny stuff in the moment. Every once in a while, Joe Thorne does that. Hi, Joe. There were 827,263 different Baptist churches just in my hometown, right? That was my guess for Redeem Zoomer. Hard pass. Yeah. His videos are way too long talking about what's his face. Sorry, it was a 6.5 hour video on women in head coverings. He did an 11-hour video on women in ministry. Maybe Mike Winger is scared because he's doing a 12-hour series on women in sports, and he's scared that enough women are big enough to beat him up. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know him. Matthew says, I would put a hard pass on Jeff Durbin because he is an anonymous and has a close relationship with Doug Wilson and Cole. Okay. And company. Oh, okay. I get you. Matt R. Yes. Durbin. Pass. Okay. Is it just me, or does it seem like most Christian YouTubers are fundamentalists in some way? Yeah, it's almost like someone started his whole channel like talking about that. How many of you are watching still? 66. Crazy. How long is this now? We've been going for an hour and a half. We're going to have to take a break in just like a couple minutes. We'll do some real fast, okay? We're going to do some very, very fast. Melissa Dotery, I don't know how to say her name. I'm going to put at the very top of meh. Like, it's just good. It's fine. Like, I don't see anything super problematic with her. Again, a lot of the prosperity gospel stuff, which isn't interesting to me. But I get that it works on YouTube, and I get that there's some people out there who want that. So, but she seems fine. Bible Geek. I don't know. I'm just going to put him in pass for now. One of you guys, I forget who recommended him. I watched a video today from him. I didn't know who this account was. And what was it? Oh, Philippians 2. He did a video on Philippians 2 and doulos, and trying to say that Jesus was born into slavery, and like some book that was a part of that. And he just took one verse and then tried to read that back into the Gospels. Like, Philippians 2 is about Jesus being a servant. And like the whole idea, that's the kenosis passage, that's Jesus becoming man. The whole idea is that we serve one another. Like, that's the point. Like, it's a big theological passage about, he emptied himself, and what does that mean? And like all that kind of stuff. But the whole point of the theology is how we apply that, and how we, like, in the same way, you are to serve one another. Like, that's the whole point that Paul was trying to get to the Philippians. And so he uses the wording there of slave, like being found in the form of a slave, like to say that we should be servants of one another. And like, he just like went past that and just like said, oh, he's a slave, and that means slave, and that means our version of slavery. So Jesus was born as a slave. And no, that's not how you do theology. That's not how you do hermeneutics. So maybe that's one. Like this, just I watched a couple of videos, and that's one thing that really popped out to me was just like he just went for it. He used it as a springboard, and dude launched like 50 feet, and I was just like, whoa. So maybe that's not every video. He seemed like a nice guy. Seemed like the production quality was there. He was like talking back to himself and like having that kind of stuff. That's kind of fun. Yeah, that shows me that you're not as careful with your hermeneutics as I would want you to be. So I'm going to put him in pass, but that's because I only watch a couple videos and that really stuck out to me. So I'm going to put him there. Church dropout, run for the hills. No, of course I'm going to put him in dope. Church dropout. If you haven't checked out Alan's channel, go and check it out. He's cool. His wife is cool. They do a lot of stuff. He's putting out a lot of content. He has one of the slickest intros on all of Christian YouTube. Okay. Like that, like Rocky Bell that he does. Like it's so good. It's really, really good. And he's just cool. He's just really cool. And the stuff that he says is great. Like content wise, it's really great. I haven't seen anything that I'm like, oh, I totally disagree with him. I would say it. Even though he's, been in this community a lot and all that stuff. Oh, someone disliked. Virgil, is that you? All right. Let's go. We'll end on a little bit of a cliffhanger here for a minute, but we'll go with Colton. This is Colton Yarbrough, and he is he chill? Is he dope? I'm going to say he's dope. I like Colton, all right? He talks about stuff that I'm not interested in, all right? Like the textual criticism, the Bible translations, that kind of stuff. A lot of Bible stuff. And that's not my jam. But I really like him as a person. I think he's really cool. He has a lot of interesting thoughts. When I've seen interviews of him on other channels, I just think he's really good. So go check out Colton, especially if you like Bible stuff. Go and check it out. You gotta just help out a brother with a beard. Just gotta. It's a band of brotherhood, and it's a band of brotherhood, and you got to support them. All right, Ruslan, we are going to take a break. We're going to go give kids some insulin, and then we'll be back to talk about Ruslan. Oh, haven't we already done that? We're going to do it again. All right, we're going to take a break. It'll probably be about 5 minutes. I beat it. I beat the timer. Let's say hi to some people. Pam says, hit the like button during the break and share the video so we can get more hot takes from random people. No one share this video. No one shared. Don't do it. Please. No, I've accepted that. I am very critical of this space because everyone's fine with it being so mediocre. And I just think that if we're going to be online and we're going to do stuff, we should do it a whole lot better than what we're doing. We should have better people doing it. I mean that, like better teachers, sound teachers, teachers with degrees. Like, and I'm not saying me, I'm saying we need better. Like maybe Joel Weapon was right when it comes to Christian YouTube. I'm the best we got. Like he's not obviously, but like there is a lack of good sound teaching. It's why I like that Gavin Ortland is on this platform. It's why I would wish that that Joe Thorne would do some more stuff. Again, we need good sound teachers. Aaron making videos, I think is super helpful. People who are smart, who have written the books, who have done all the stuff, who have been on some of the platforms, but maybe didn't want to go full board with that stuff and really focus on their local churches and stuff like that. We need people like that. And I'm just kind of tired of the mediocrity that we have on Christian YouTube. Again, myself included. Like, I view myself as like a streamer who just reacts to things, not necessarily a teacher. But if we want to go down that route, I'm more qualified like than a lot of these guys. So like, at least I got that going for me. But I just don't think that we have enough good sound, biblically thoughtful people doing stuff. And I want more of that. Let's see. What is this? How did you find the Underdog channel? How did you? How did I? I don't even know. How did I get locked in here? I got trapped in my basement one day. Examining Moscow and Doug Wilson shared one of Dean's videos on patriarchy. I watched and was hooked. The John MacArthur, Eileen Gray convo. Yep. I would imagine that would be most people. I think I found Dean on Twitter, though. Was it weird Christian Twitter list? I don't know. My memory is bad. I was on that. I was one of the people in the early days of weird Christian Twitter. It was a fun time. My wife started watching his stuff and drags me along, kicking and screaming to this day. I'm so sorry, Aaron. I'm sorry for your loss. You could be doing a lot of better things. But at least you get to hold hands with your wife. So you're welcome. Found him when he did a video about Brian Sauvé. Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably like when... So, like, I think that there's a few different like phases that people come in. Like it's like the John MacArthur saga, and then there's the Dale Partridge saga, and then there's the Right Response Ministries stuff, the early days of doing those. And I really didn't want to make those videos, but you guys begged me for them, so I finally did them. And, well, I guess I'm glad. I guess. That's cool. That's cool to hear. What was that one? I found Underdog by searching for biblical reform critiques of Christian nationalism. Oh, that's cool. Funny story. Han Cho used to preach at my friend's old church. I like Han Cho quite a bit. He has been very kind. He's reached out through some mutual friends, and then I connected with him. I won't go into the details, but he was just a really big encouragement. So I like the Chos quite a bit. Colton Yarbrough is the best. Is he? I don't know if he's the best, but he is pretty. No, sure he is. You're a dedicated father, Dean. What would Heather and the boys do without you? I don't know. Probably not spend as much money on movies. I'm realizing that my alarm is still set on my phone, which I left upstairs so I can track my numbers on my son there. So they would probably not have an alarm going on them. Heather is working right now, so I have to go up there and turn that off. I'll be right back. How many of you are so mad at me right now? Oh, this is going to be going. Got to mute that. You're like, wait, did he do one? Did he do it? And then I just didn't. I will do some eventually. Yeah, sorry. I'm a little winded. Ran up and down the stairs and then had to go all the way up because somebody needs something. Okay. LOL. Aaron, Pam dragged me kicking and screaming into this channel. I've never been the same. It's a sad, sad story. These women. That's why you gotta make sure they don't outpace you. You know, like you gotta watch a YouTube video first before they do. I found Underdog when I was just trying to find any Christians speaking out against Doug Wilson with biblical perspective. Okay. Did you find one? No, just kidding. In my opinion, Christian YouTube seems curated towards other Christians, not unbelievers, who could potentially hear the gospel and receive salvation. Mediocre is not an unreasonable assessment. All right, I get what you're saying. I do think that there are some Christian YouTubers out there who are really focused on evangelism, like that Off the Curb guy. I don't know his channel well enough to like talk about him, but I know that's what he does. And I think there's probably a bunch of others. Some would argue that Jeff Durbin's channel is kind of focused that way because they do like those debates and stuff. But the way that they even word it is like pastor demolishes, whatever, destroys college kid. It's just like, well, that person's just like probably a freshman in college. I hope that a pastor who's been in ministry for 20 years can demolish the arguments of a freshman in college on philosophy. But like, I do think that there's some people out there who are doing it. But yeah, there is something to it. This, like that's what I aim my videos at. Like, I know, like, all right, I have some pessimistic views a little bit about whether people go online to learn or whether they go online to be entertained. For me, I think most people come online to be entertained rather than to be informed. I think that if you are wanting to be informed, you would probably go to more reputable resources like a book or an article from an established publisher rather than just listen to random YouTuber number 5. But yeah. So yeah, I don't think that's the primary focus of most people. And I'm not sure if it should be. Like, let's be honest, a lot of these people who are searching stuff in the Christian world are Christians. And I think you have to really be pulled by the Holy Spirit to maybe pursue that. Like if you're an unbeliever, obviously I'm a Calvinist, so I'm going to think that God is the one who saves, so he draws you near. But I think that you'd probably check out a church Like, you would probably look at a church first before, I don't know, maybe you would go online and see some stuff. I don't know. I'm just like, maybe that's my bias of just thinking that most people come for entertainment, but I think that's probably where I would land on it. But maybe we should have more channels like that. Dean's a big meanie. Whoops. I probably should have done one. Wouldn't that be like a fun thing for you guys? I'm such a jerk. A letter. We just got a letter. Was it just a letter? Wonder who it's from. Okay. I think I found this channel when I was checking out Honest Youth Pastor, who I learned about through the New Evangelicals. So in a roundabout way, I found Underdog Theology through Tim Whitaker, interestingly enough. Interesting. I appreciate Off the Curb. The dude has a big heart and seems to be sincere in his evangelistic approach. Okay, that's the vibe that I got from him, but I haven't watched a ton of videos, so I didn't put him on this list. Okay, let's continue. All right, who were we talking about? Ruslan. All right. Ruslan has watched the channel, apparently has watched the channel often, and was not happy. I'll just say that. Was not happy about the last ranking, and, made it very clear that he was not happy about it. I have issues with his approach to money, and this year has only proven that more. And I think others have seen it. They went back and they found the old clips. Now, he's been doing this a very long time, so people change their minds on stuff, but some of those clips are very damning, and I think it shows his approach. Now, honestly, I'm more concerned, not just on him making money, but how he talks about faithfulness and success, and he does it in the Dave Ramsey terms, and he tries to say, like, oh, like, he does this thing where he attaches to somebody. He says, if you have a problem with me, you probably have a problem with Mike Winger, because Mike Winger likes my stuff. So that means it's borrowing credibility from someone. And he does the same thing with Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey ain't great. So like that doesn't hold water for me. But also they both have the same problem. It is the prosperity gospel in a different form. And it's not salvific. All right. Like, let me be clear about that. It's not like, like you get good things and that shows your faith, and like so that you can, get more favor from God. You'll be happy with you. It's not that way. It is, if you do the right things, you will get. And he'll caveat it with being like, unless like there's some like third party thing that happens to you, or like a calamity that happens, then you'll do this. But that's not like he says that he just applies the Proverbs. That's not what the Proverbs mean. There's so many Proverbs that go in the exact opposite direction as that. It's just a bunch of advice. Proverbs is a bunch of advice for someone to follow. It's general advice. It's not promises. And the way that he talks about it with his audience, he makes it sound like promises. And I don't think that's wise. Now, there's a lot more stuff. The Michael Brown stuff and promoting him. He's not on this list, but he'd be a run for the hills, especially after all the stuff. But we'll talk a little bit about that in just a couple minutes here with somebody who his face is in here. Okay, we'll talk about that next. But that is problematic. Joel Webbin having him on the podcast, problematic. No apologies really about these people. It's just, who could know? Well, you have problematic people on your channel. Like, you can know these things. I think that Ruslan he has a good heart. Okay. I don't think he's purposely doing these things. I think he is a product of his environment, probably the church that he attends, probably the stuff that he's digested, all the Dave Ramsey stuff, and that it worked for him. And so he thinks that he could just apply that to anybody and that should work for them. But that's not how the world works. That's not remotely how like we should view people, like, because that's what leads to like the pride stuff in thinking like, oh, I can go at someone's weight because it shows their laziness. Like, now some of that might be cultural, I will say that, like, because you're like, he's from, I forget where he's from, European, something like that, Middle East maybe, I don't know. But well, some of that might be cultural. I've met a lot of guys. I ministered to a church that was largely Ukrainian, and there was a lot of cultural differences there. I learned pretty quick. So that might be a part of this too. But I think that kind of mentality of, if you work hard, if you grit and grind, you can get success, or you should get success. And that means like money, that means like your body, that means like, you know, whatever your family situation, like you just grit and grind and that's how you can get stuff. That's not helpful for people. Now, should you work hard? Should you save? Should you like live within your means? All that kind of stuff, obviously. But I'm just getting so tired of people coming in here on Christian YouTube and beating people with the law. And that's what it is. Now, he probably would have zero clue about the law gospel distinction and like all that kind of stuff. I think he's been interested in Calvinism, but, you know, like not an actual Calvinist. So he probably has no idea what that stuff is about. But I'm getting really tired of people coming onto YouTube and just being legalists and being fundamentalists and being like, you got to follow this, this, and this. And that means success. That means faithfulness. That means, you know, even for you as a content creator, who he talks about too a lot, it's just like, yeah, it's just not helpful. Yeah, the pride that I've seen grow, that's apparent. That's apparent. Like, guys, look around. Like, you could see it. You could see it. I mean, you could try and make big things. You could try and accomplish big things. And like, I'm all for building out things. If you do it in a way that's like obviously pleasing to the Lord, if you do it in a way that isn't like obviously beating down your audience to like subscribe and pay and buy this and buy that, and constantly putting ads over everything, hiding teaching, hiding conversations behind paywalls, but you're having like the problematic teacher in front of people, and then hiding like the controversial stuff behind a paywall. Like, that's messed up. Like, that's totally irresponsible for anyone who is being a teacher. The clickbait stuff, all of these things are problematic. I don't think I'm going to put him hard pass at this point. Hard pass. I don't think he's someone who should be listened to about theology. It's become very apparent that he watches a lot of content, and he's probably got a pretty good memory. Like, that he could just like remember what people say, and then he just parrots that. That's my opinion. I'm going to stick by my opinion. I don't care what DMs come my way. I'm not paying attention to any of them anymore. And I saw that, John. I saw that with the text. But that's where I'm at with this guy. I see things that come across my way, and every time it's just like, what? And it's all entertaining, you know. It's just trying to build money. That's what this has become for a lot of people, is that they're all trying to build a business. And he is probably the one who has been the most upfront about that. And there is something to that. There is some validity to, you know, being honest about your intentions. But when you're honest about intentions and those intentions aren't great, like, now you're just honestly wrong, right? Like, it's just, that's how that works. So I think that he is out to make money, like a lot of people, and he's getting a lot of hate for it now. You know, there are videos that were going around about him. Now, I don't like the style that people do stuff with. I don't like, yeah, we can tease a little bit and make a little bit of fun about some things, but the way that like you slow down things and like try to make someone look real stupid, it's not great. I've tripped over my words 1,000 times, probably even in this stream. And he's streamed hours and hours and hours, so I'm sure that there's tons to prove or to find. But I just think the guy's bad news when it comes to this stuff. I wish that he would just go and do his rapping. He says that he was successful with that, so go and be successful with that. There's tons of different ways to be successful about that. If he wants to talk about culture and entertainment, then go and do that. But you should leave the theology behind, because he's only platform problematic people. He has switched his position a bunch of different times on different things. He has just not been all that helpful when it comes to theology. Now, some people have been helped because like they see, I don't know, like they see this guy who, what was it? Like there was like a pastor who like stole money from his church, like from like the plates, I think. I remember something about that in a video, and he was like made some stuff. Maybe they go to that church. I don't know. Like those kind of things. Maybe he's been helpful in those things in very specific ways. But I'm just like done trying to tiptoe around that kind of stuff with people like that. I don't see the point. Like, again, it seems like someone who is fleecing their audience because they know that they can. Like, I'm having a hard time because, like, I want to be fair. I want to be fair, but, like, honestly, that's how he comes across. And I just don't think the music is correct. There are sound effects. What? Who turned this on? Was it an organ? Was it an organ? What music was on? What? How long was this going, and what music was it? Why is even the sound effects on? Dean over the music. This has been going on for probably this entire time. Well, that's the stream. Are we done now? Makes so much sense. Dean, you're being generous. Ruslan states that living in San Diego is the only place he can live in the whole United States to justify why he's grifting. I mean, hustling the way he does. Yeah. I think that someone tell me how long that music was playing. But what kind of music was it? But yeah, I think what he meant by that is he doesn't want to live anywhere else. And it was on for so long. Okay. But he doesn't want to live anywhere else, and I don't blame him if he has family there and all that kind of stuff. But you could live a couple hours away. Like, you got to do what you got to do. Like, some of us can't. Maybe 20 minutes? What? Oh! Oh my goodness, guys, is that for real? Is that? Oh, I shouldn't do anything. This is why you don't do YouTube. This has been going on. So the music was going on the entire time since I started that little bit of like the letters from the culture war. Why did it happen? I thought my phone is upstairs, John. I thought you were like texting someone else as a joke. I love technology, but not as much as you see. We should call it done. Whatever. Maybe that means I wasn't supposed to say anything. But here's the deal. I think he's a grifter. I think he grifts. I think he grifts real hard. So that's like this is a little like short way to say everything I already said. And hopefully there's no more piano behind me. Moving on, I guess. I don't know. Blurry Creatures. I actually like these guys, but I'm going to put them in meh just because of their content, because of the field that they're in. The music made me real sleepy. Oh man. Why do I do anything? I try real hard. This is why I'm going into the movie stuff more, and we're just gonna do a faceless channel. I think that's probably what we're gonna do, because one, my face shouldn't be anywhere, and then two, like, stuff like this happens if you go live. So, Blurry Creatures, their stuff is crazy, the content that they talk about, but I like them as people, and their background is like the sweetest background I've ever seen in my life. It was like you were sad. If it was maybe lower in volume, it could have been like helpful. All right, Think Media. Grift hard, grift often, use Christianity as a crutch to be able to sell your products. That's what Think Media does. So helpful maybe at the beginning if you're starting YouTube, of like some of the videos they put out. But I'm specifically talking about those times that Sean Cannell will just like every head bowed, every eye closed. I'm trying to like move on. This is so funny. Okay. But like, I think that whenever he like shifts that gear and he's talking about Christianity, it's usually pretty problematic. And it's very much like megachurch pastor vibes, like leadership, whatever stuff. But he's not qualified to do any of that. He just isn't. And the way that supposedly he has treated some of the people that he fired, not great. I don't like, you want to know something? I think I dunked on the guy, or at least I tried to. I think I was told you this story. Maybe I know I've told John this story. But I think I tried to dunk on Sean Cannell in high school, and I hit the rim and fell on my back. So I'm pretty sure, like, I don't remember. I know that he has talked about growing up in Arlington, and I know that he's talked about being on the basketball team, and I'm pretty sure we played against them in high school. If it's the Arlington that I'm thinking of, like I know it's the Arlington, but if it's the team from Arlington that I'm thinking of, they were really bad. Always very bad. It was a cakewalk every time we played them. And that's not to say we were great. Okay. We were not. But it was the one game I was like, I'm going to try it. I've never dunked in a game. I was always 3-point shooter sitting on the line. And I'm like, I'm going to dunk. Because they had wood floors. We played at a wood floor gym. That wasn't very often. We were in a Christian league. So it's like, I feel like I got the hops, like, so like it was crunch time. Or no, it wasn't crunch time. We were killing them because like, it was like my senior year. And I was like, I'm going to dunk. And I went up and he was defending. I'm pretty sure it's him. And I hit the ball to the rim. And it didn't go in. It was like just right there. And I just like, it's one of those moments where like you hit something and there's like all your momentum is just immediately stopped. And so like I went plop right back on my back. So Sean might remember that. Yeah. So, but he grifts now. But as far as like, if he just did like content stuff, it's like whatever, that's what people sign up for in that world. But yeah. What is this? You should go back to the piano music to tell this basketball story. Maybe. All right. Lion of Fire. Where are you at? Okay. He dropped himself. He jumped into hard pass. I'm going to leave him there. Hard pass, please. I'm tired of like hyper charismatics reading the Bible and being like, why doesn't anyone see this? It's like everything is a revolution, like, and it's just like, if only people really believe the Bible. It's like, what do you think we're doing? Like, I'm sorry that your teachers were so bad that they just made you feel like you couldn't read the Bible for yourself. But what do you think the rest of us have been doing this whole time? Like, but if you really believed this, you would live it out. John Christ, Run for the Hills. This guy is a predator. He has preyed on his audience, and like said sorry, and everyone acts like that's fine. And now he's like all over the place with Christian stuff. Like, do people not? This is one of those moments once again that I just go like, do people not remember things? Like, what is with the short-term memory online that we just all go like, oh, he's funny, I watched a video. And it's like, yeah, but did you like look into him at all? Because like he has a really, really bad past. And everyone's just like, he's our Christian comedian. Like, just go be a normal comedian. You don't do Christian comedy like when you got that past, and you're not as like, I don't believe his apology. I'll put it that way. I don't believe it. Alex O'Connor. If you're like, what? Why would you put him in Christian content creators and Christian teachers? Because that's his whole audience, okay? This is an atheist who is looking at Christians being like, I can make a couple bucks off of them. And Christians are so foolish that they're just eating it all up. And they're like, we could have him on debates. I guarantee you that half of his audience is Christians, maybe even more. Like, he's an atheist. You think it should be atheists who watch his stuff. I guarantee you there are more Christians who watch his stuff than atheists. I don't know why it is that way, but it is. And people are now like, let's have him on and we could get him to come and do a debate. Yeah, because he's a little kid who wants to make money. I don't know. He might be like 35. I don't know. But that's the way he comes off to me. George Janko. I'm going to put in, hard pass. Hard pass once again, because this guy doesn't know anything. This guy, if he's a Christian, he's a baby Christian. Like, just go be a baby Christian. Don't be like Christian Avengers. What is that? One of the dumbest names ever. Christian Avengers. And that's the lineup you have? Man, Christians are in trouble. Thanos is going to win. But I just, like, whatever. He is trying to be a celebrity, realized that people liked some of the Christian stuff that he was saying, and now he's trying to be a Christian celebrity. So now it's doing that. Bible dingers. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to put him in meh. No, I'm not. I'm going to put him in pass. I don't like debates. I don't want to do debates. They've asked me to. I'm not interested in doing debates. I think it's odd to like just host public feuds with people. That's a weird, gross strategy. But okay. I don't think that they're super helpful. They might be nice guys. I don't know them personally. I've only interacted a few times, and but I'm just not impressed. One of the guys is like off his rocker a little bit. I don't know his name, but the guy with the dark hair, he's pretty intense. He's pretty intense. Alan Parr. All right. Hear me out. I'm putting him in chill. All right. Here's what I'll say. All right. When everyone and their mom is like trying to make as much money as possible and like trying to be as clickbaity as possible and talk about trending topics as much as possible, I don't like Alan Parr's teaching style. Everything is like this really intense. He talks, it's almost like Todd Friel, like, it's all this, and it's like really high pitched and like really aggressive, and like that's just tone and stuff. But like also he's so certain about everything, and it's like there's so much more gray here than this black and white that you're trying to say. So like I don't think he's the best teacher in the world, but I think that there is something to the fact that he has been like, no, like he's fallen into the trap a few times, and every once in a while you'll see something and you're like, whoa. But I think that there's something for him just continuing to be like, I want to make biblical content. Even if I don't agree with his takes, I think that there's something to applaud there of him just like, even though he's like the biggest one and he could make the most money, and he could be the one who's growing the most, he is actually chosen, and he's talked about it several times, that he's going to continue to make this kind of style of content and this teaching content. Again, I'm not saying it's the best teaching in the world, but I think that there's something to be applauded there. So different than pretty much everyone else except for Mike Winger. But I think I would take Alan Parr's teachings over Mike Winger's. And not just because like someone threatened me on whatever, or whatever he said. Sons of Patriarchy. They're going to watch this and they're going to get mad. I don't want DMs. I don't know you. Pass. All right, pass. I do not appreciate someone who came out with, we are going to talk about Doug Wilson, Sons of Patriarchy. Look at like the silhouette. It's Doug Wilson. It's supposed to be about Doug Wilson. And then it was just about everything. It was just about everything. And then very quickly, it turned into donate. Very quickly, it turned into support our Patreon. Now, I don't know. Maybe they pay people and fund things. I don't know enough about that stuff. But if it is just to grow the platform, I go like, oh, dang. I feel like I might have been had a little bit. Because I thought this was going to be super helpful. And for a little bit, it was. It was like when you get to hear some of like these firsthand accounts within the CREC, those things are great. But when it just becomes interviews with people, and it's not just Doug Wilson, you're talking about all these different people. You're talking about this whole theological framework, and it's all over the place. It's just like, I don't know. And then you add in the fact that this would be fun to rank songs. I have done that. I have done Christian artists. But then you add in the whole, like just throwing Tim Whitaker under the bus like that. Yeah, I could get real honest. I think that's, I'll say, I think that's so cowardly. In shows like, I think that there is agenda. Like, here's the deal. All right. Like, am I saying I disagree with everything that Sons of Patriarchy has done? Obviously not. A lot of you guys watched it. A lot of you have liked it. I'm giving my perspective as someone who has listened to portions of it. I've listened to a lot of like the people telling their stories. That stuff I've really appreciated. But when it's just like them talking, it's just like any podcast. And then it was so quick with the fundraising, and we're getting a season 2. And it's just like, does season 1 ever end? There's like 1,000 videos. There's like 1,000 podcast episodes. I thought we were getting like a rise and fall of Mars Hill, and it was going to be very streamlined, very professional, very narrative. And it's not that. It's just a podcast that launched. And then most of it is just him kind of giving his opinion on stuff and then quickly being like, hey, let's do some fundraising. I don't like that. So I think that it's very icky to make money off of abuse. All right. This channel is not monetized. That is on purpose. That is because I would feel so weird about myself profiting off of talking about abuse within churches, talking about, people and like even stuff like this, making money off of things like this. Personally, I would feel so weird about it. But that's like their whole thing. And they're just like, let's raise the funds. And again, I don't know what they're doing with those funds. So maybe there's like a great plan of like, oh, we're going to give it all to victims. And we're going to help them, get help and counseling when it's necessary, help them out in any way we can. Maybe that's happening. I don't know. But so far, I don't think that's what's happening. And like, you built a platform. I don't know. And I don't know. I have weird thoughts about it. Probably wrong. Some of you guys are being like, Well, I know that one might get me in trouble with some of you guys, but that's my opinion. But Mike Cosper, what has happened to this guy? I'm gonna put him in Mac. Um, oh, this stopped updating. This has happened a couple times. What is up? What is up? Let's go. We gotta move this thing. Hopefully, no music is playing while I do this. Let's see. I gotta take the screen share off and then put it back on, and it should be updated now, right? Yes. Okay. So Mike Cosper, he just talks about politics all the time. And it's like, you don't have any business to be talking about politics. I don't care about your political stuff. I've liked Mike Cosper for a long time, but like then you see him just interacting on Twitter and it's gotten a little out of hand. Like he is very combative on Twitter. Now, obviously with the Tom Askell stuff, like that makes sense. You're going to defend yourself. But it just seems like he's like purposely going at people a lot and being very combative. And I don't like that. So like not going to support that. Reformation Red Pill. I'm going to put him in hard pass. Again, just another example of a young person who should have a blog that's like their theology professor is like looking at and being like, oh, silly guy. But he has a YouTube channel, and because of that, it grows. He says outlandish stuff on Twitter all the time, and now I guess his pastor is involved with it. And it's just like the Doug Wilson kind of stuff. I don't know why we have Alan again. Let's put him at the back. Let's go with Sadie Robertson. I'll put it hard pass. Like she tries to be a teacher. She has no reason to be a teacher. It's just that she's a celebrity. And so because she's a celebrity, I guess that's enough of a pedigree to be able to go and teach. She's not good at it. The podcast is just like whatever. I guess that there could be like 20-year-old women who could be helped by some of the stuff that they talk about, but it's just no thanks. Grimke Seminary, hard pass. Hard pass. I didn't think I would say that about Grimke. I've been looking into them some more. Haven't made any videos about it, but I've been watching more of their stuff, and it just becomes more and more problematic. They got some young guys there. That Ponder guy, he's got some wacko views, man. I think he's probably going to end up teaching in Moscow, but he's definitely trying to push that institution further right. And it's no longer like the Acts 29 kind of place. And that's what I thought it was. I'm really surprised that Doug Logan is still the president there with that kind of a push. But I don't know. TGC, they're going to go up a little bit. I've been enjoying reading TGC articles lately. It feels like a couple years ago when I first started the podcast, it was like, I felt like they were going to die because like they weren't picking a side. They weren't going too far left and they weren't going too far right. And for a while they did, but it seems like the last couple months, they've really just been like, let's just talk about the normal stuff. And you know what? After dealing with all of this craziness, I'm good with the normal stuff. I've thought it's actually been pretty fair. I thought the Beth Allison Barr, the reflection on like the pastor's wife thing, I was expecting that to be like a total hit piece, and it wasn't. So I appreciated that. It's just I've been reading it more, and it seems like they've kind of figured out where their niche is, and the niche is right in the middle. Reforming nerdom. These guys, I'll just put them in hard pass. They want to talk about nerd culture stuff and try to mix Christian nationalism with it. And it's nope. You can't say, don't try to tell me Superman is Christian nationalist. Tim Ross, basement guy. You call Jesus a stripper. You're going to be in the run category for life. You're never getting out of that category. You call Jesus a stripper in a sermon. I don't care if he put that bread in your pocket. No, you call Jesus a stripper, sir. You're going to be down in this basement for a very long time. And also, He's said some weird stuff about people who people know who have done things to him, and he won't come forward with that stuff. Lame. Like again, just like Mike Winger. If you're gonna say that stuff, you better be ready to say who it was and what happened, right? Like if someone is threatening you, you come forward about that stuff to the cops. You don't have to do it on YouTube. You don't have to do it to me. I don't need a private email telling me exactly what you meant. You just go talk to the authorities about that. But again, it's just more. Just let me try to get some attention. Let me get more views. And so this is what I'm saying for this one. If someone's not on your list, if someone's not on this list, they probably are on one of the other lists that I've done. So you can check those out on the channel and go back a ways. It was like last year. You'll see like the tier maker background thing. But this is what I think. This is what I think for these people. Let me know how I'm wrong, but not in a DM because I don't care. I'm not going to read it. And plus I don't even check those DMs anymore. So, yes. Yep. He called Jesus a what? Yes, he did. And it was all over. And apparently no one cares about that anymore. But, I think TGC has good content like You're Not Crazy podcast. Well, anything with Ray Ortland Jr. is going to be good. So, I love that man. I don't care. I don't care who says I'm wrong about it. I will love that man. Can you mention just one teacher you would consider as an S class? What I mean is a teacher you believe does a great job at teaching the Word of God. I just did Ray Ortland Jr. I could do Joe Thorne. I know people know him from Doctrine and Devo, but go and listen to Joe's sermons. I hate to say it, but he is one of my favorite preachers. But there's tons of people. There's tons of people. Just because I don't like a certain YouTuber doesn't mean that I hate all Christians. I didn't like her support of Carl Lentz when he came out with the new podcast. Sadie, yeah, because it's celebrity stuff, you know. I love the Unashamed podcast. Love Phil Robertson. Guys, I dressed up as Uncle Si for Halloween years ago. So like I like Duck Dynasty quite a bit. Let's see. I really hope Sons of Patriarchy finds their way. There's a lot of potential there, but maybe some wisdom is lacking. Yeah. Like I'm not saying my point of view is the definitive point of view about that. And if other people like them, you know, go for it. I thought we were going to get something and we didn't get that thing. And then I was like, oh, maybe it's this, it's stories, you know, and then it wasn't that. And then it just became this hodgepodge of all this different stuff. And then it like got very much like donate and ads. And if you don't want ads, donate. And it's like, I just get real. It's icky to me. Like that's the word that keeps on popping in my head. Maybe I'm a 12-year-old, but like, it's just icky to me to profit off of abuse. I don't like it. I don't think it's right. I think you should be a nonprofit if you're doing that stuff and you don't need donations, or if you do, you are using it to go forward to a good cause. And maybe that is happening. I haven't heard that. So I'm just leaving that as a little caveat there that like, if that's happening, then I rescind that part of it. But it just seems like another guy who's mad and is making content about things he's mad about. And guys, you know, I've been there. I've made content because I'm mad about something too. So like I've been there, I get it. But when you add in like the financial angle of it, and just like when I first started, it was very much said to be like, we're going at Doug Wilson. And it's like, it's not that. It's just like everything. It just became like about everything. And I don't want to hear everyone's opinions about everything. But that's just me. So am I canceled now? Some people will be like, you can't be canceled because you were never a thing. Well, I'm kind of glad about that. Will I be continuing? No one's asking that. I'm just asking myself. Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? Do you not know about Joe Thorne? Joe Thorne? You don't know? He's about this tall. Sorry. Joe Thorne, he used to have a podcast called Doctrine and Devotion, which is sad that I now have to educate people on that because it used to be a podcast. I'm not saying I killed Doctrine and Devotion, but I will say I was one of the last guests. And then immediately done. Oh, man. Joe Mama. My mom's dead, sir. Do you feel good about yourself now? Okay. I have a very dark sense of humor. It only gets darker the later it gets, and it's getting too late. So these are my thoughts about some of this stuff. Did I burn things to the ground? Probably not. I always act like I'm going to be like, I'm going to say everything, and then I'm just kind of like, I shouldn't say all of my thoughts. But also, like, I don't know. I try to have fun on these things. I try to have fun, and it would just be not as fun to be like, everyone is the worst. And also, it's not fair. Like, yes, some of this stuff is problematic, but just because I don't like somebody doesn't mean you can't. Just because I don't get helped by some of these people doesn't mean you can't. But if you're considering some of these people in like the hard pass and the run categories, I think you should probably look into them a little bit more. Maybe watch some videos from other people about those people. But yeah. All right. Any thoughts? I'm gonna take a sip of my energy drink. That was like 4 sips. Oh, I got small. Whoops. Well, looks like we're about done. I shall return with shout of victory over mine enemies. Look to the sunrise on the third day. No, I won't be streaming in 3 days. But I'll be streaming again sometime soon. What do you guys think about the green screen? Nobody answered that. Nobody answered it. Oh, this FaceTime camera is supposed to be the FaceTime camera, and it didn't pop up. This has been a therapeutic experience, Dean. Thanks for the fun. Yeah. Aaron says, that was fun. Thanks for the vid. It's been a minute. We got a good laugh. Mostly about how dumb you are with music. I get it. Michael Horton. I haven't listened to Michael Horton in a minute, man. I don't know. I don't know what I would think about Michael Horton these days. Back in the day, I would be like, cool, White Horse Inn. Yeah, I love it. But I haven't listened to it in a very long time. I like your den better. Well, we got a critic. I don't think he likes the secret sauce, Rick. Okay. If Allie Beth Stuckey was on this, she'd go run for me because of her comments on black churches. I saw something about it. I didn't look too much in it. I know that Melissa Daughtry was on that as well. I forgot to finish watching that video. But I don't know. I don't know what they said. Solid use of logo, right? Green screen is cool for this video. Notice how she put that. Sweet. White Horse would be a cool name. Bad Horse was a cool name. Bad horse. Okay. Now I need to end. You know, when you're singing, you need to close up shop. I wish Joel Webben figured that out. Okay, bye.